if I had to say in 2 words what he was enthusiastic and involved in anything that interested him.
He was a journalist, he was a writer, he was a person who knew how to express himself.
Activist, writer, veteran for peace. Eli Jaffe was many things and still remains to be seen as a respected figure in this community. To commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth, in his own words and in the words of those who knew him best, including his wife Wilma, here is the story of Eli Jaffe. Eli was born February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1913, in New York City. His father was a Jewish immigrant and his mother, first generation born in the U.S. Eli created his own work ethic from his father's demanding high standards, coupled with his great pride and faith that Eli could accomplish anything if he worked at it. At college, Eli said he majored in extracurricular activities. This is where he began getting involved with just about everything the student body published, from yearbook to student newspaper, and also as student reporter for the New York Times. Eli became interested in the plight of the Dust Bowl and Depression victims in Oklahoma and went there to see for himself and write about them.
He graduated from Brooklyn College, and I believe soon after went to Oklahoma to work with the Communist Party down there to help organize the people who were suffering so greatly. The Dust Bowl was going on, the Great Depression was going on. He graduated college in 1937, really the height of the Depression.
During his time in Oklahoma, he urged the U.S. to stay out of World War II. But when he ultimately joined the Army in the early 40s, he was glad to be a part of the American war effort. In the summer of 1945, he was transferred to MacTalk, the information and education publication for the armed forces in the Southeast Pacific. He banged out essays on conditions in Europe about the progress of the war. An indication of Eli's social consciousness is the many groups to which he belonged. In 1963, networking got Eli what he described as the best job of his working experience as a National Director of Public Relations for the Eleanor Roosevelt Memorial Foundation. On its board of directors were members of the Kennedy family as well as members of the Roosevelt family. Eli's big thinking was also shown when he became a founding member of the Veterans for Peace. He reached out to the Roosevelt family for permission to name his home chapter for Veterans of Peace in Dutchess County for Eleanor Roosevelt. They enthusiastically consented. The Gillespie Forum was a huge example of Eli's thinking big and outside-of-the-box attitude. The forum was created with the purpose of educating the public on subjects that are of interest to live your life better. One of the events the forum hosts is the Eli Jaffe Film Festival.
From the time that the Gillespie Forum was first having its meetings and so on, one of our board members started a relationship with Upstate Film so that they showed some films that were, again, in the vein of what the Gillespie Forum was about. And Eli, of course, was active in that and kept on being active. And somehow when the time came to have this contest or whatever it is we have every year for students to make films and they get a prize, it just was the logical thing to call it the Eli Jaffe Film Festival. So that's what it is.
Eli also enjoyed music. He played the guitar, which he learned back in Oklahoma, and he also sang. In the 1940s, he played occasionally with Woody Guthrie. When Eli was 84, he was asked what he wanted his epitaph to be. He said, quote, "He changed for the better," end quote.
He was so friendly. He had the widest smile. He's just a likable guy. And I think it's those qualities that could allow a man to be both a member of the Communist Party, which he was in his youth, a member of Rotary, and a member of so many different organizations, causes, and groups, and endear himself to so many people.
He will always be remembered, maybe not so much for a specific thing which he took to his heart and spoke about, but the fact that when there was something that he did care about, he would see that people knew that, and he would try to persuade them to feel the same way.
Eli died on November 11, 2001. His legacy lives on in the Eli Jaffe collection in Oklahoma and in the hearts of the people he knew. His life was extraordinary, and to honor it as only he can, here, in Eli's own words, are the lessons he learned during his full and adventurous life. I have tidaled at many a windfall for peace and justice and broken many a lance. The past is gone, the future is uncertain. But each present moment affords me the opportunity for enjoyment. My marigolds, the changing colors of the leaves in October, the peaceful air, the view of the river, the bright sun when I get up, a friend at lunch. My home and its enjoyments, music, guitar, comfort, and safety. Nothing is perfect, but it is all good enough. My credo? I shall pass through this world but once. If therefore there are any kindness I can show, or any good thing I can do, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect, if for I shall not pass this way again. So be it.